Let me ask you, because we were just talking about this here in Indiana. 60,000 slobs can go inside at Lucas Oil Stadium with the roof closed, and you don't have to wear a mask. 2 minutes down the road at Manual High School, everybody in that building has to wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, and all that kind of stuff. What is the protocol for people attending the Super Bowl in California? Mask or
My
maskless?
understanding is that you have to be either vaccinated or present a COVID-19 negative test to attend the game, which has been standard for all the large events in California or in LA for some time now. LA County is a little different than San Diego County where I live. And then apparently they were sending N95 masks to everyone that technically they are supposed to wear, but who's enforcing that? I mean, you don't have Mrs. Brown standing in front of your class telling 25 students to pull up their cloth mask. Like, you're not going to have an usher go around and tell Beyonce to put her mask on, or whatever star is there. Obviously, whoever's in the suites, they don't apply. So yeah, they are technically supposed to wear them with the roof closed and everything. And there is an indoor mask mandate. Actually, even if it's outdoor in LA, with that large of a gathering, you're supposed to required. I use that term loosely. The rule is like more than 5,000 people gathering outside need to be masked in close vicinity. So under all the current guidelines in LA County and the state of California, everybody at the Super Bowl should be wearing a mask outside. I guess would be the players. But that's not going to be the case. We know it's not going to be the case. And it isn't the case from the people that make these rules up that attend these games. So it's so much hypocrisy. It's just disgusting. And I think people are finally starting to see it. So maybe like that's the good of it. But my question posed after the NFC Championship game is like, okay, so you're mad. It's bullshit. It's hypocritical. But Newsom's done this from the beginning, our governor. And like, what are you going to do? Because majority of you aren't going to change anything. You're going to post a picture. You're going to get pissed. You're going to call them out. But then you're going to continue to comply. So I think we're seeing from our neighbors to the north and in other places throughout the country and the world, like the only way, if you don't want to deal with this and stand for this, is to not. So, yeah, it's just crazy times.
What did you think about, you were on Megyn Kelly, what did you think about Shaq's comments about the vaccine?
So 3 things. I went and listened to the podcast. I thought it was really telling that before Shaq said that he doesn't think people should be forced to do something they don't want to do, he said, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. Like, that to me is so telling that somebody knows that if they speak out against these mandates, they're probably going to get in trouble for it. Right. Secondly, I found it disturbing that his co-host, she continued to say, like, it wasn't forced. He's like, no, if you have to choose between your job or getting an injection, that's forced. She's like, no, it's not. And he's like, yes, that is. She could not make that connection for whatever reason. I mean, she like kind of backtracked a little bit, but really was like, no, that's not forced. Like, those are the rules, go work somewhere else. And she held on to this argument that like by being vaccinated, you're creating a safer workplace, which now we just know isn't true. Like, vaccinated people get it, they spread it. It's, it protects you and really nobody else. And that's great that it protects you. So then you have the choice to get it and, maybe have a little less severe outcome if you get the disease, but it really doesn't change the way this thing is spreading. So what does that matter for other people? This isn't a public health issue. So that's why I had issue with her opinion. But what really bothered me was at the end, she said, and I'm blanking on her name, I think it's something Turner. He said, but don't you at least feel bad for that guy, that's worked at ET for how many years and he has to leave his job because of this mandate? And she said, no. You don't want to follow the rules, follow yourself out the door. The inability to have compassion and empathy for somebody who thinks differently than you, the fact that we've lost part of our humanity. And Dakich, when I went through my thing with ESPN and walking away and it was all over the news, I had people reach out, people that we are friends with, and they straight up said, Allison, I don't agree with your decision, but I see someone I care about who's hurting, and I'm sorry, and I love you, and I'm here for you, and I hate that you're going through this. It's compassion. It's empathy. It's actually caring for another human. They didn't agree with my decision. They don't need to agree with my decision. It's my decision, not theirs, right? I respect that. But the fact that they could still see me as a human and somebody they cared about, and that she could not bring herself to at least feel bad that this hypothetical person was in that situation, like really, it kind of struck a chord with me. Like, how have we lost as humanity our ability to at least feel compassion and empathy for someone, regardless of how they feel about something like this? Like, I just thought that was so sad and she was proud of it. She's like, no, I don't feel bad for them. And I thought, wow, I feel bad for you because that's a piece of your humanity that has obviously died during this pandemic.
You know, maybe we talked about this, I can't remember, but 2 years ago, one of my college teammates, Brian Sloan, Jerry Sloan's son, is a doctor, and he works in Eskenazi Health, is a healthcare thing. And he's like, you know, man, these people that I'm working with, these teams are doing incredible work. You know, what can we do to honor them? So I started a thing for 60 straight shows at 1:30. My show's noon to 3, from 1:30 till about 1:45 or 2 o'clock, depending on how it went. I had a healthcare worker on every day. And a healthcare worker is not just a doctor. It's not just a nurse. A healthcare worker were the people that walked in there, changed the bedpans, changed the sheets, cleaned the room. At that time, you know, everything was wiped down. Clean the room. And my frustration now is those people who did like people telling stories about, you know, Allison, they had to come pull into their garage, have a robe there, take off all their clothes, put a robe on so that they didn't walk through the house naked, right? Go take a shower, put gloves on, take this stuff, make sure it's away from everybody in the house, put it immediately in the wash, you know, all this stuff that they did, and now they're fired. And that hit me the other day like a ton of bricks. It smacked me right in the head. And nobody gives a shit that these people are fired. These people who were considered angels, that's what they were called.
Heroes.
Heroes work here. Remember that? People were putting signs, heroes work here. And now they're getting fired. It drives me batshit crazy. It does, Allison. It makes me nuts.
It's not only illogical, it's like it's morally bankrupt. It's wrong, you know? Yeah, and we turn on these people that we celebrate, that we needed, that we so desperately needed when we didn't know what we were dealing with at the beginning of all this. And we propped them up like the heroes that they are. And now we're saying because they're making a different decision than what their employer wants, and now they're disposable. I mean, it's wrong on every level, and it's sad. My heart breaks for those families because they're dealing with.
And you know, I'm sorry, but you know this. Those people, like, they had great stories of like, well, you know, this person was on a ventilator. Their family couldn't see them, so I would sit in the room with them for 30 minutes and just talk to, you know what I mean? I mean, the shit these people did extra was unbelievable.
And we're asked to do.
And gone. I hate it. I hate it. I understand that you and I are probably in the wrong, I guess. I don't know.
We
like
might be on a lot of things. I don't
think
we are on this.
God dang. Anyway, all right. Your Super Bowl predictions. You think this is a low-scoring game?
No, I actually don't. I think this is going to be an entertaining game. I think we're going to see some good offense. I don't think it's going to be like the Rams Super Bowl. Heaven help us.